Against the light-colored background, the letters ACB. Below each letter is its corresponding Braille cell. Together for a bright future. Meet ACB board member Christopher Bell with ACB president Dan Spoon. Dan is a white, middle-aged, and clean-shaven man, balding, and with white hair at his temples. He wears a red sport shirt.
I'd now like to introduce Chris Bell, ACB Board of Director, elected in 2021. Hello, Chris. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Dan. Thanks for doing this.
Oh, thank you for taking the time to participate. So could you, Chris, maybe just give us a synopsis of kind of your vision journey and kind of growing up with vision loss and kind of your experiences?
Christopher is a clean-shaven white man with receding gray hair and a white AirPod in his right ear. He wears a white and dark checkered dress shirt.
Sure. I'm one of those kids born in the late 40s, early 50s with retinopathy of prematurity. And I had vision, but never well enough to drive until I was about 18 and a freshman in college. And then my retina detached while I was in New York City with a young woman I was dating at the time. I call it my first blind date. And thereafter, over many years, my vision deteriorated to the point about 10 or 15 years ago when I was totally blind.
And how was that challenge for you with education and growing up with the vision loss?
Well, I was I was fortunate because I completed high school with the vision I had, which was about 20/50. I was one of those kids with the Coke bottle glasses and stuck my nose on the book. So it didn't really bother me. And then in college, I just had to switch to readers and whatnot. But it was doable.
And did it impact your decision to go into law?
No, what impacted my decision was I started out as a high school teacher, and I decided I wanted to make more than $7,500 a year.
Well, that's fine. I spent just a small amount of time as a junior high school teacher, and I realized that was not my calling. So
Right.
yeah, it's somehow those life experiences teach you maybe not what you want to be, but what you don't want to be.
That's right. I've had several of those.
Very good.
I was also a stockbroker at one point, and I was terrible at selling. So
Yeah, well, we're glad you became an attorney, because what you did as an attorney has been very consequential to the blind and low vision community. So thank you for your service.
well, thank you.
So here we are. It's 2021. You decide to run for the ACB Board of Directors. What was kind of your mindset going through that, and what are you hoping to accomplish on the ACB board?
I had two goals going into it. One was to try to enhance what are already very good advocacy efforts on the part of ACB. And I wanted in some way to either help train or motivate and work with people in our affiliates and chapters on advocacy issues of whatever was important to them. So that was one piece of it. Another piece of it was, as a person with multiple disabilities, I knew that there were a lot of people like me in ACB, not necessarily the same disabilities in addition to blindness, but that, disability, broadly speaking, was a common experience. A lot of people just aren't only blind, they're blind plus. And so I wanted to be involved in articulating that. And that was partly why I was pushing for the formation of the Committee on Mental Health and Wellness.
And now you're part of that committee. How has that journey been as you've been working with Pam Shaw to kind of stand up the Mental Health and Wellness Committee?
Well, we've really just started. I'm looking forward to participating in some of the seminars or web community calls that different affiliates have asked for. I haven't done that yet. I did participate in a call at the convention which was actually very emotional for me as I kind of laid out my journey and my struggles. And was well received. But anyway, I'm happy to do that again, and I look forward to being as much of a support to the committee as I can.
Fantastic. You surely have been a tremendous asset. So tell me about kind of looking forward 5 years or so. What do you see as the biggest opportunities and challenges facing the American Council of Blind and our affiliates and chapters?
Well, I think the largest challenge from my perspective is engaging our members at the member level. My sense is that there are a bunch of people that are very active on committees at the national level, and there are people very active locally, but somehow I don't think we're connecting. I think we need to have a kind of communication that allows the people at the local level to raise the issues that they need and the support they need to ACB national committees, and ACB national committees to support people locally and to provide them with the information or expertise that can help them do their work. I don't think we're there yet. So I see it as a kind of need for greater vertical integration and then greater horizontal integration. In other words, what we learn from people working in chapters, we can expand to other committees, et cetera. So I think that kind of engagement is really critical for ACB in the future.
Yeah, and I know as part of the transportation committee, you all have been trying to kind of come up with what is that right level of communication, right? Is it an email discussion list? Is it Facebook? Is it focus groups? I mean, I think it's an ongoing challenge for a lot of our committees. What connects the committee work to the greater membership?
Right, and what I've tried to do is to reach out to specific affiliates and ask presidents to tell me the names of people they know in their affiliate that are, let's say, passionate about accessible pedestrian signals. And then I'll contact that person and find out what they're working on and provide them with some support. So I sort of think this has to be done, not necessarily person to person, but you really have to dig down and find the champions on whatever issue you're talking about.
So true. And how do we kind of identify those folks in our local affiliates and chapters? It's not everybody, but it's those few champions out there that can kind of take the ball and run with it.
Well, I think if people on different committees nationally who have a passion, whether it's special education or whether it's mental health or whatever it is, if people in the individual committees divide up the affiliates and make calls and try to identify people that are passionate about that particular issue, we will gradually engage people. But what I don't think works is to send out an email and say, hey, if you're interested in mental health, reply to my email. Well, that doesn't happen. So I think we have to be much more proactive.
Very good. So today, as we're leaving, tell me, what does Chris Bell do for fun? What do you enjoy? Kind of let everybody know the easygoing side of Chris Bell.
Oh, I'm afraid I'm boring. I read a lot, but the fun thing is my wife and I share a book on Bard or Audible out loud every night. So that we can laugh about that. Plus, we also listen to football on the radio.
Now, what team do you root for? Are you pro, college? What?
No, I'm a Minnesota Vikings fan.
Okay, well, they had an awfully good season, but it didn't end too well for them.
No, well, that's usually the case, unfortunately. but I'm sure ever upward.
All right. Well, go Purple People Eaters. We're all for you.
There you go.
All right.
Thanks
Well,
a lot.
thank you, Chris Bell. Thank you for being a member of the American Council of the Blind and sharing some of your thoughts with us today.
A logo, ACB in print and braille, American Council of the Blind, together for a bright future.